Contract Deferred, getting paid until the day I die. Money coming in, but not one at bat, not one pitch, not one strike. Being deferred is where it's at. Deferred.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Podcast Named Deferred. I am your host, Seven. With me is my right-hand man. I'd call him Daddy if it wasn't weird. We've got Craig Newton with us.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Glad to have you with us. We got a lot to talk about. I know you're ready to go.
I'm ready.
Of course, as always, we have got a man who is not allowed within 500 foot of a battered women's shelter. We've got Dan the Dick Warner.
Oh, jeez.
I'd call
only because he stole a bunch of food from there. That's all it was. It wasn't anything bad.
I was selling my food stamps to the ladies.
And rejoining us, he's disappointed more women than a positive pregnancy test. We've got Ando with us today.
Whoa! Positive pregnancy test can be good, man. Come on.
I know.
That hurts.
There's also some women that have been disappointed by him. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I was gonna say the reason Dan's not allowed within 500 feet is because of his name, right? It's not because he's giving out those food stamps for free, as Paul Rudd would say in the mirror. It's because of that dick. Because of that dick.
Oh God.
Dick.
Very sad subject as we start off tonight. A legend within baseball. A man who definitely made the Braves name throughout his career what it is today, with the exception of a brief stint coaching for the Blue Jays in the early to mid-'80s. Bobby Cox passed away. World Series champion, skipper of the 95 Braves, 4 NL pennants, a win-loss record over his entire career of 2,504 to 2001. That's 4,500 games that he managed over a 29-year career. That's just ridiculous. But the peak of his career was definitely something where I was really just getting into baseball. I was still kind of young. And so, Craig, I want you to take the lead on this. You definitely had experience with Bobby Cox. Share your thoughts on the passing of this legend.
Well, an outstanding manager, pretty darn good general manager, and a rightful Hall of Famer. And his loss is felt big time all throughout baseball. I've talked to some of my fellow writers, and he will be missed. I came across him the first time with a tie-in with Willie Stargell when Bobby was then the general manager of the Atlanta Braves, and Chuck Tanner, Willie's former manager, was managing the Braves. And it's hard to imagine you have a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest Pirates up there with Clemente, and for some reason the Pittsburgh Pirates could not find a home for him on their coaching staff. Bobby Cox was more than willing to have Willie Stargell join the Braves and become the first base coach under Chuck Tanner, his former manager. Bobby Cox was that kind of man. He saw the humanity in Willie Stargell. If you ever had a chance to sit down with Willie Stargell like I did, he just evokes humanity. first and foremost, kind, a gentle giant. Was absolutely hurt that the Pirates did not offer him a position on their club. I don't understand that. I mean, the Giants do a great job of retaining their Hall of Famers and finding positions for them, whether it's in the community or as you know, coming in and talking to the players during spring training and always being around the game. Willie Stargell loved the game. When I sat down with him, he was fighting his health issues. He was sad that the Pirates did not find a home for him, but he was more than grateful to Bobby Cox to find him a home with the Braves. I got to tell you, I told Willie, I said, you know, seeing you in that Braves uniform, it just looks so out of place, Willie. And he chuckled. He said, "It's my home, and it's my team." And he was very loyal to Chuck Tanner through his playing career, and equally as loyal as a first base coach. Made himself always available to the players. The players that I talked to all had respect for Willie Stargell. He was a bread and butter. He got down nitty gritty, worked hard with the players. He didn't just show up as a Hall of Famer and sit on the bench. I mean, he worked hard with those players, and to a man, every single player had his respect. And talking to the broadcasters, the same thing. All respect for Willie Stargell for the time that he was with the with the Braves. I'm grateful for Bobby Cox that he saw the advantage, the total plus. It's a plus all the way around to have a Hall of Famer like Willie Stargell, excuse me, on the Braves team. And Chuck Tanner, of course, was thrilled to have his former player, on his coaching staff. It was short lived. It was less than 2 years, but thank God to Bobby Cox that he reached out and invited Willie Stargell to find a home with the Braves while he was the general manager. It just kind of tells you the kind of man that Bobby Cox was. And when I sat down with him before as a manager, also, excuse me, I'm fighting the cold. A great tactician of the game. He could teach a master's course on baseball, and yet was so approachable to the rookies, and just a great all-around man that loved the game of baseball. Rightfully belonged in the Hall of Fame, and he will be missed by baseball. One of a kind. Thank you.
I absolutely agree, and I think that it's that there's the impact that Bobby Cox had. It wasn't always just traditional stuff. For those that are newer to baseball, Bobby Cox holds the record for most ejections by getting most ejections by a manager at 162. That means over his 29-year managerial career, he was ejected. It was an average of like 5 games per season, I think is what I saw. And I was going through just kind of doom scrolling last night, and this clip from Tom Mazzoni, he was on a radio show. He told a story where he had recognized that Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine would say things in the dugout between innings that would trigger Bobby to where he would go out in the next inning and get ejected. Like, even if the ump was just doing their job and they knew it, they were doing fine, they would say stuff just to get him to do it and then start laughing about it as it's happening. But Bobby was the kind of guy that led by example. He was a hard ass, but he had his players' backs. And you can't always say that today. So I for me, like the stuff that I remember about watching, especially watching the Braves in the 90s, they were on was it TBS, I believe, if I recall.
TBS, because of Turner Broadcasting, right?
And that's right.
Be right back, guys. Be right back. Sorry.
You're good. And he always had a presence, and you could tell that he knew the game. He was great with strategy. Ando, I know you're a bit older than me. Nope. Disrespect, man, of course.
No, none taken.
So you probably watched him a little bit more. What do you remember?
His fiery intensity for the game is what kind of made me be a minor Braves fan to begin with. I didn't get into baseball until about 98, 99 when I lived about 3 hours away from Seattle in a town called Yakima, Washington. We had a lot of baseball fans in the school that I went to. Like, I was big on football. Football has always been my sport. But what kind of got me into the friendships that I had was baseball, because there were a lot of baseball fans within our school. One kid in particular by the name of Ryan Stoudemire, his dad actually played for, I think it was his dad or his uncle. Mel Stoudemire played for the Yankees and was in the Yankees farm system for a while. So that kind of got me flowing into baseball. So when we did watch, because again, the Braves were on TBS a lot, and TBS was big on the cable networks. I watched a lot of Braves game. Didn't understand it, obviously, as a person watching football. It's a new sport I'm trying to pick up. But whenever it was the Braves, Cox always came out. Didn't necessarily agree with calls. But it was his fiery intensity to the game. Like Joe Torre, when you talk about the Yankees, he was that kind of. He could be stewing under the surface, but he looked calm, like on the surface of everything going on. Like he always. Maybe calculating, I think is the best way to put Joe Torre. Cox was the opposite. You could read the emotion that Cox had on his face. He wasn't happy with the call. You knew it. Kind of the same. I kind of put him in the same category as Tommy Lasorda for the Dodgers, where Lasorda lets you know exactly what he was thinking. I think Cox kind of plays that same way. But Craig said it and you said it, where he always had his players' backs. He may not always go about it the right way, but at the end of the day, he was that manager, that skipper that was, you're not going to do that to my player. My team is not going to get screwed over because of the decisions that you're making. And I'll if I got to take it to the clubhouse because I got ejected, so be it. But that's what I remember most about Bobby Cox, was his fiery intensity to the game.
Definitely. Dan, man, you and I came up around the same time, watched some of those games as kids. What do you remember?
Just kind of what Ando was saying, like the fire was awesome. The having the players' backs thing, obviously that's a thing where that's what you want from your manager. I love the fucking kicking the dirt on the home plate and all that shit. That's my jam. So yeah, I was obviously I was a big Bobby Cox fan for sure. I was never an Atlanta fan, but that 95 team had a loaded roster. Obviously Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz, right? The pitching staff. Leo Mazzoni was their fucking pitching coach, which is stupid. But Fred McGriff, I forgot Fred McGriff played for that team.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, starting first baseman, David Justice, and then obviously you had Chipper. Who's one of my favorite.
And
players.
Andrew. Chipper and Andrew Jones, both.
And
yep.
Andrew was not on the 95 team, but Andrew was later. Yeah, he wasn't on the team.
Who did the Braves beat in the 95 series? Was it the Blue Jays? No, because the Blue Jays beat them in 92.
They beat the Cleveland Indians in the World Series.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Poor Indians, man. They got kind of throttled by the NL East in the World Series during that kind of decade and a half, because they lost to the Marlins in 7. Then they lost to the Braves. It's like, man.
And no, but Andrew Jones was on the 96 team. He came up the next year. So you were close. But no, yeah, his first year in Atlanta was 96.
So you had Andrew Jones. Javi Lopez was a starting catcher. Chipper. Rafael Belliard, shortstop. There's a name. There's a name that you don't remember. But that guy was a fucking stud. So, like, yeah, that 95 team was loaded. They went 90-54 in the regular season, which is a weird record because that was the lock shortened 1995 season.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
So they had 90 wins, but they were fucking 36 games over 500, which is, yeah. So they would have won 100 games easy that year. But
then again, you got to look at it as the way Cox played it. Is Cox was that manager that could manage those egos. So if anybody, not that I think the Braves had an ego problem at all, but Cox was the one that if anybody felt like they were too big for their britches, Cox would be like, oh well, settle down, sit down and enjoy your Kool-Aid. Go sit down and enjoy your Kool-Aid.
Well, no, I think that Cox was one of those guys where it was easy to leave your ego at the door because he wasn't going to let you have it anyway. Like he knew the game. He knew how to. He looked like that type of guy that could tell you exactly what was wrong and humble you real quick. So you just left your ego at the door, and then you didn't have to hear that, except for during arbitration. But no, definitely going to be missed. A true legend in the game. And I took a pause when I saw the news that he had passed because one of the earlier him and Torrey, and some of those other guys, like they were the earlier managers that I remember. And so it was, there was definitely something where I was just like, hey, wait a minute. Because like he did something that's really hard to do because they made it back and won the NL pennant the next year after winning the World Series. You don't see that very often. I mean, of course, the Yankees would do it consistently in the American League later on in that, late 90s, early 2000s, but that stuff wasn't common. And he was able to do that. Go ahead, Greg.
To emphasize on your respect for Bobby Cox, 2010 when the Giants beat the Braves, prior to storming the field to celebrate, to a man, every single Giants player turned to Bobby Cox's dugout and gave him respect. And Bobby Cox, in turn, returned that respect. And then they went on the field and celebrated. That again speaks volumes to the respect that the man had from even opposing players.
You don't see it a lot anymore, but yeah, definitely a lot of respect in the game. And he changed baseball. He did. He's one of those managers that changed baseball. So the effects of Bobby Cox on Major League Baseball will be felt for generations, for sure.
Can I say that we, as the four boys here, can we change kicking dirt onto home plate? Can we just call that coxing moving forward?
Maybe not that word.
Because it just feels weird to say he's calling a Bobby. A BC.
That's better.
We can call it a BC. No, because that could be taken the wrong way.
Nope.
Pause.
Pulling a Bobby. I think that's the best option we're gonna get.
Was it safe to say that? Was it safe to say that we needed Cox?
The Braves definitely did. Look, if we can pull a Bobby, because you got Tommy Lasorda, right? You're doing a Lasorda if you get the mascot thrown out of a game. Because how many times did Lasorda get the Expos mascot thrown out of a game or get the Philly Fanatic thrown out of a game for the bullshit that he was doing? We got to call it Bobby now. When you get so pissed off, you kick dirt onto home plate and get ejected for it.
It'll probably be Aaron Boone that does it because he's the one that gets ejected at that kind of frequency now. But with the ABS system, we're not even going to see Aaron Boone get ejected as much. Like he's already said in interviews, like he'll find a way. But which I believe.
If you're good at your job, you'll find a way to get ejected. You're good at your job.
There's a legend that Aaron Boone has banged the entire city of New York. So that's.
I don't doubt that. As a player or as a manager?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Yeah, if you want to go both, yeah, he definitely has 2 times over.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be missed. All right, so moving forward,
we needed Cox.
My buddy Evan, who is an avid Giants fan, Patrick Bailey was traded, and I know that Evan's favorite player on the Giants was Patrick Bailey. I know Craig. A lot of respect for Patrick Bailey, Gold Glove catcher. I mean, known around the league, hasn't hit the best as of recently, and his performance behind the plate may not be what it used to be. So that refresher that he's getting by going to Cleveland was probably necessary. But Patrick Bailey gets traded, and it appears that the fire sale that the Giants will have has started. So Craig, what was your first reaction when you saw it?
I wasn't surprised, and I'm really happy he went to Cleveland. I mean, that's a great setup for him. It really is. All he's got to do is get his bat speed up a little more. He's going to find a great home there. Cleveland's got great fans. It's a good, strong team, and he should be able to fit right in.
He'll see the postseason a lot more, I think.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to the Giants, but that's just that's such a tough division. You're playing, almost half your games every year are against one of the best teams in baseball.
Yep.
In some way, shape, or form, because even when the Padres are struggling, or the Dodgers are struggling, or the D-backs are struggling, they still have great baseball. And those division matchups, I think, in the NL West are some of the most competitive outside of the AL East. And so, like, for him, he's going to have a little bit easier time. It's a little bit easier pitching facing the AL Central all the time. And I think that's going to help him get his swing right, get it, just get his feet back under him. And I think we're going to see, especially the second half of the season, I think we're going to see a lot out of Patrick Bailey. Dan, what were your thoughts on the trade?
I never liked Patrick Bailey, so I'm not like, what?
Of course you didn't.
That's a lot of I'm just glad I didn't get traded to New York, honestly. No,
not that you guys have room for him or anything.
Craig, it's because I collected a lot of Patrick Bailey rookie cards, and that motherfucker, all right, just nothing. Okay, what am I going to do with an out of 25 Patrick Bailey rookie card now? What am I going to do with it?
Sell it on eBay for 25 cents.
You're like, no comment. No,
spend $75 to get it graded by PSA, so you can sell it for $10 instead of $8.
I was gonna say, yeah. So somebody on eBay can offer me $8, and I can be like, cool. Yeah,
he's gonna pull an Aaron Boone as he's arguing.
I feel really bad for the guy who took enough time out of his day to offer me $8 on a Patrick Bailey rookie card. He just took valuable time from his life to do that. That's how I feel about the Patrick Bailey trade.
Okay.
I'm glad he's on Cleveland. We might play Cleveland later, so he can strike out sometimes for us.
He may surprise you.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
I think he's
hitting coach is really good. So
at some point, potential just doesn't really mean anything, does it?
No, you're right. You're right. But there's something to be said about a good hitting coach. Like, look at the way that Boston's bats have changed since they got rid of Peter Fatsi. And I think that now, obviously, Boston still has some work to do. So I'm not saying it's night and day, but they're 8-7 under Chad Tracy since that happened. We're seeing more home runs. We're seeing better hit balls. So for me, I feel like there's definitely, hope that can be offered from having, from an improvement for a hitting coach, especially for a team that's not performing. So I think that when you have a player like that comes in, a fresh set of eyes, fresh set of advice, maybe something that he was told in San Francisco just didn't connect, and when the new hitting coach says it's going to sink in. I think that those type of things can really change a player. So
yep.
I'm optimistic. I'm not going to say put money on it. I'm not going to say put money on him having hitting 300 for the second half of the season or anything. But I definitely think there should be hope for Patrick Bailey fans like my buddy Evan. That we see a better bat from him. Ando, what was your thought? What are your thoughts, man?
I'm going to be absolutely honest, man. I don't pay enough attention to San Francisco or Cleveland baseball to really make an honest opinion. Looking at the stats, I would say I think it's okay at best. I think it creates, honestly, a logjam at catcher because didn't they have Bo Naylor? But they just sent him down to AAA.
Bo Naylor is not a good catcher. They made the right choice there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. See, I just saw Naylor, and I think of his brother, Josh Naylor for the Mariners. Obviously, racking home runs.
Not his brother.
Yeah, they're not brothers.
No. As in, he's not his brother. Like as far as like skill and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, Josh is definitely the better brother.
Yeah, that's like Rob being the better looking twin, and I just got it. Gotcha, Cedric. Gotcha. No, I think I'm more concerned on the San Francisco end of things if they are indeed kind of leaning into the fire sale. Who's next? Like, who's the next person that goes from San Francisco?
I'm glad you asked that.
That would be my question.
That's our next topic. I mean, do you have any guesses on that? Who do you think, if you could pick two players on the Giants roster, that you think are going to be on the move next during this fire sale? Or I will say next, but during this fire sale. Give me 2 players you think could move.
Me?
Talking to me?
Yeah, Ando.
I would originally, because I know you have a disdain for him, I would say Devers, but I think the contract that Devers has, I don't think he's going to be moving anytime soon. I don't know why Bader kind of seems like an outside name that I think could be seeing change, especially with the way he was raking against the Dodgers in the last couple games. Maybe Gilbert. Gilbert's still fairly young though. I think I'm going to lean towards Bader. I don't think they'll get rid of Webb. I think Webb is too crucial on that coach or pitching staff. I don't think they'll get rid of Webb. Robbie Ray and Bader, if I had to pick 2, I think those are names that would draw in other ballparks. I'm going to go with those 2.
Okay. Dan, what do you think, man?
Matt Chapman could be on the move. I like Matt Chapman could come to New York for sure. I like Matt Chapman. Jung-Hoo Lee. I'll take Jung-Hoo Lee too. I think he's the guy that could definitely be out of there. Well, you got Devers could definitely move. I think even with that contract. I mean, that's who wants Rafael Devers is the question. I mean, it's great. I mean, honestly, if he's in the right situation as far as his manager and the clubhouse and everything, I would definitely take Rafael Devers, right? And then Willie Adames is another name. I mean, right, Craig?
I've got Willie Adames because he could help a playoff contender going later on in the season. I've got Devers would be a dream, but a big contract gonna be hard to move him. Chapman, he's on a really disappointing roster right now. I know they love to move him. All the big money guys they want to get rid of, but things could change if this Trout trade, which I talked to Tony about.
What's this Trout?
The Giants are very serious about going after Trout, and they're willing to throw up Bryce Eldridge, who's their number 1 prospect. Heliot Ramos, who can ball, he's a baller, can hit. And then a nice little left-handed pitcher, which left-handed pitching is always a must. Kyle Harrison would be included in that. And then the Angels would eat a lot of the contract, but then the Giants would have to come up with 2 more players to balance out the Angels eating the contract. And I've been looking at let's see, Gavin Killian, who's an infielder, and Casey Schmidt, both infielders, because Angels need infielding, especially if they, they need infielding help, and so that would strengthen their infield. Both Schmidt and Killian could play right away. Obviously Schmidt, but especially Killian too, could fill the role right away. But it's right now it's a wait and see. But it's still the talk is very heavy here in the Bay Area that the Giants very much want to go after Trout. But Adams definitely would be one that could definitely help a playoff contender. Jung-Hoo Lee, strong. He's a strong value all over the place, all over the league, both American and National League, strong value. Chapman, hate to see him go, but man, it's a disappointing roster right now. So I mean, the Giants are looking at getting rid of the big numbers and rebuilding. So
I don't hate that. I don't hate a lot of these. I will say for me, I do think Devers moves, but I think the Giants are going to eat some money.
Oh yeah,
and I think that's how it's going to happen. I would say, because he's probably, I think he's got like 150, 175 left in his contract. You're probably going to eat half of that, realistically. Yeah. Which that's the one good thing that Boston has gotten out of that trade was that they're not the ones that are eating half that contract. Yep. So I will say that, and I think that somebody's going to want him because they're going to want the bat. And as much as I joke about Rafi Devers struggling at times, you want his bat if you're making a postseason run. So somebody with the prices right will make a move for him. I do think Craig mentioned Helio Ramos, and he's coming up on an arbitration year.
Yep.
So this is a time when players like him can get moved.
Yep.
And it's definitely, to me, I think there's a lot of teams that could benefit from him. I think that Atlanta could use him. I think that and even the other stuff and the other ideas that I've had with a trade with Atlanta aside, as much as it, I feel bad saying this as a Red Sox fan, but Mike Yastrzemski is not what Atlanta needs. He's not panning out the way that they thought he was. He didn't pan out the way the Giants thought he would. And so I could see them moving off of him, especially if they can get it, if there's a good package that brings Helio Ramos to Atlanta. He's already got experience in left field, which is where he would play. And so there's definitely some potential there. I also, the left-handed pitching is going to be something that I think is looked at, but another player, if I had to say for sure, I'm going to Matt Chapman. I definitely think Matt Chapman is going to be, his name is going to fly around. We're going to start hearing trade rumors from him in the next couple of weeks, especially because we're getting to the point where we're only about 6 weeks out from the trade deadline now. So
Matt Chapman to the Yankees actually makes sense.
I'd love that. It'd be good for him.
It would be good for him. But okay, so what do the Yankees send back for that though? Because that would be my question. Because I was looking at that yesterday and I couldn't figure it out.
Probably like Carlos LaGrange, and we actually have pretty solid minor league pieces. We don't have we don't have upper echelon minor league pieces. Like we don't have Connor Griffin or anything like that. But we have a deep average to above average player, AAA guys. If that makes sense. Like our minor league system is filled with we're deep. Our minor league system is deep enough. I think that we can just probably throw 4 or 5 guys at them for Matt Chapman. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not even 4 or 5. It might be 3. Carlos LaGrange is a really good right-handed pitcher that we have that's in AAA right now, and we're about to call him up. But you're not going to get Spencer Jones, and you're not going to get Jason Dominguez, and Spencer Jones made his major league debut the other day. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that. I saw it.
He has the strangest batting stance. It's like a Tony Batista. He starts open, and it's in front of his face, kind of, and then he leans in. You know what I'm talking about? It's a very strange but it seems like it's a lot of movement, to tell you the truth. But it's like Ohtani is what it looks like, where Ohtani does that thing where he loads and then he comes it's like a weird before the ball comes. You know what I'm talking
about? Yeah.
So it's like he tried to model it off of Ohtani's thing, but it's way more movement, and it's really weird. And I don't think there's any way it's good for him. Do you know what I'm saying? Good.
I don't like Ohtani's batting stance. When he initially starts, he just sits there and he's anytime it's no, dude, come on. You can't be relaxed like that, man.
It's good to be relaxed, it's good to be relaxed when you're out there, but at the same time, Ohtani doesn't move his head as much as Spencer Jones does in that whole so Ohtani keeps his head still the whole time when he's doing those little weird motion things. And that's the difference. Is Spencer Jones moves his head he actually completely moves it into a different slot almost, and it looks really weird. And it can't be good for him. He strikes out a ton.
Yeah.
The guy's got.
You're changing your perception of how the ball is coming in when you move your head like that.
Yeah, the guy's got 2K 99 power, right? The dude can hit the cover off the fucking ball. He's 6'7", 260. So he's gigantic. But and he plays center field, which is nuts too. But so good. But you're not going to get him or Jason Dominguez out of the deal. But if you trade, we have some pieces that we could probably move around, and that's what the Giants would want too, right? Is at least pieces. Guys who are gonna make them more deep because they're kind of just thin everywhere.
Yes,
and I think that's a good deal for the Yankees and the Giants, honestly. But they like Ryan McMahon for some reason. I'm not a huge Ryan McMahon guy. He plays a fucking really solid third base, a really Gold Glove third base. The guy's a great defender, but offensively, he's been coming along a little bit here in the last couple of weeks, but he's not probably what they want Bronx Bomber wise. You know what I'm saying? There's, by the way, guys, they need to put Alex Rodriguez on MLB 9 innings. like yesterday. I'm just saying. I want a Yankees prime Alex Rodriguez, like what, 09 would it be, or
I would say 08 or
7?
between 08 and 2010.
A Yankees prime A-Rod would just fit my third base because I got DJ LeMahieu right now, and I'm about to blow my brains out. I'm not gonna
Dude,
like
there is one SIG second baseman for the Red Sox. One. And it's a vintage card. And it's not Dustin Pedroia. Give me an 09 SIG Dustin Pedroia. That was one of the greatest seasons of a second baseman in history. If you go back and look at those numbers, like he had stupid good numbers that year.
Yeah.
Like there's sometimes like some of the gaps for stuff like that with positions with different teams on how they have cards just blows my mind.
It boggles my mind. There's no Tatis prime. There's no Fernando Tatis prime on the whole game. There's no Barry Bonds isn't on the game at all.
No.
How about that?
No.
Like,
they won't.
Dude, come on. Like, that's crazy.
They should, but they won't.
That's craziness.
The hard thing about the veteran players with that game is they have to get the licensing individually. Yep. So, because they had taken David Ortiz out of the game because he had been out long enough that they no longer had licensing to his stuff through the MLBPA. And it wasn't until I think it was this last year, like there was a solid 3 years where you couldn't get David Ortiz in the game. Okay, and it wasn't until this last year that they added. It was 2 SIGs and I think a prime. Yeah, 2 SIGs and a prime that they added for him, like 06 and 07 or 05 and 06, something like that. And it was, but yeah, so it's some of those gaps are just weird.
So, but you can keep them. You can keep the player if you had it though. It wouldn't like block the player out. It would just change the picture.
Right, no,
yeah. Like I've got I'm sitting on. I have an 09 John Lester, Reds. He's black diamond. It's just the regular normal card. I am waiting for the next time I can get a SIG change ticket so I can turn that into a SIG pitcher because when you can use him, he's one of the best pitchers in the game.
So is the SIG change thing, what does that do as far as like you can actually change it to somebody that you like or you can change it to somebody that's just like a position group?
So if that player, you could use it on card. If that player had a signature card for that specific year that you're using it,
okay,
you can turn that into a SIG card. Like the only one I've ever gotten.
Oh, gotcha.
I wasted it on a Xander Bogaerts card, and I know that I wasted it now. I feel like a dumbass, but
it's all right.
It's because that same year he had a SIG card for that. I was able to change it from a normal card. You can only use it on a normal card or a vintage card where there's also a SIG version of that vintage
Gotcha.
Card. Right. But it's that same player, same year turning it into a SIG if there was a SIG available for that card. So,
I was misunderstanding. It just turns the card into a signature card. It's like doesn't like you don't have to change it from something else. I get it. Okay.
Yep.
Moving on.
Okay. So yeah, the Giants are going to rebuild. It's going to take a couple of years before they're back into it. But there's a lot of potential with that team. I know that the reception around Tony Vitello has gotten better as the season has continued. He seems to be getting comfortable and finding his way. But I think the true test in this is going to be how connected he and Buster Posey are while they're going through this rebuild. That's going to be the tell, at least for me. Craig, do you agree?
I agree, and right now they are very much connected. They are like this. I mean, they're very connected. So
I agree. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good thing as long as it stays that way. Because you guys at least have a coach. I don't know what's going to happen after this year. So many names have been floated around for Boston already. Is it going to be Tech? Is it not? Is Chad Tracy going to keep it? Are they going to look at are they going to look at this guy, that guy, like whoever? Like, there's so many things that I've seen. It's just frustrating. I hate going through a coaching change.
Veritech would be like the splashy move for them, right? Like that would be like the big time, prime time move.
It's the one that the fans would like the most just because of his comfortability with the roster or with the organization. But at the same time, when he was removed from his position when the other coaches were fired, he was kept because Craig Breslow may look like a Timu Joel Osteen, but he understands the importance of Veritech to that organization. Just like he wouldn't make the call to fire David Ortiz if David Ortiz worked for Boston unless it was absolutely necessary. He at least understands that. But where Tech is going to be, still hasn't been said. Like, they still haven't said what his job's going to be. He's just getting paid to wait. So is it possible they're keeping him on the burner so they can hand him the keys? Yes, but there was a lot of disconnect between him and the coaching staff in the front office, and that's why everything happened. So where is that going to land? Is this time for him and Breslow to strategize and talk about how this is going to move forward? Is that what they're doing? Maybe. It's possible. But I think I'm more apt to believe that they're going to be looking at somebody like I can't remember his name that was just fired from Philly. Or looking at giving it to Chad. David Ross is another one that's been floated around. I have a hard time connecting with a lot of these names. I like what Chad's doing. I think the energy of the team has changed a bit. He has a lot of experience with the younger guys, and some of these guys that are going to be coming up soon, I think he has a lot of experience with them, and I think that could help because they have a really young team right now. And somebody that has that familiarity with him, because over 75% of the guys that were on the 26-man roster have played with him, whether it was when they were coming up or when they were dealing with rehab stuff. So there's familiarity there. So I think that could be a valuable choice, but it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Yeah, it was Chad Tracy. I don't hate him.
They played with Chad. You're saying they played with Chad Tracy, though?
Yeah, because he was the AAA manager.
Oh, played under Chad. Okay, gotcha. Check it.
Yeah. So they played under him. And Chad does have history with the organization because he played with the Red Sox briefly as well. So there's still some history with a lot of these guys.
Like Martha, not like Martha plays under you.
No, exactly.
Different kind.
You think Contreras could be the clubhouse leader going forward? I think he already is. I think it's him, and I think Story gets a little bit of the consideration because of his experience. But I think Contreras is the reasonable choice. Like I saw today, I watched the game today against the Phillies, and he was just moving. He was diving for stuff he didn't need to. You can't tell that he was usually a catcher up until this season.
Sorry, go ahead, Seven.
And so that to me is, these guys like him because he goes all out. He's got that experience. Once Trevor Story goes from Boston, which I think that's an inevitability at this point, I think he's going to have the most experience in the league out of all of them. So that to me is, I think it's very possible.
The manager that you were talking about from the Phillies, was that Rob Thomas that you were talking about? Thompson?
Yeah, Rob Thomas. He's the one that I think his name is going to be in there heavy for that. All right.
Audio recording?
Yeah, there you go. You're good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
You're good.
Hey, Kyle Edwards, by the way, had a child when he was 12.
No, that's not that Kyle. That's actually a different Kyle.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's a different Kyle. That Kyle hosts a couple of shows on Wire to Wire. He's good dude. All right, so next,
Kyle.
The first round of discussions for the pending CBA negotiations happened yesterday. Jeff Passan has an article on ESPN. I think is a really good read that talks about kind of just starting the process. A lot of presentations from stuff on both sides for kind of philosophies and how they're seeing things. No formal offers were presented, but this is kind of just the starting point for this. And
they're just fingering each other.
Kind of just fingering each other, feeling each other up, maybe a little titty grab.
Maybe little pinky
in
the butthole.
You can't go under the shirt yet. It's all over the shirt. Like everybody's still fully clothed at this point. So.
It's still question appropriate groping.
Yeah, there may be some nipples showing, but you're not.
Boner just pushing up inside of your zipper, like
exactly.
Yep. Yeah. Everybody's still going home and taking a cold shower. That's really what the discussion was.
But
you guys were just jizzing in my pants.
Yeah, they're playing Lonely Island while they're in discussions, man.
What are you guys talking about?
Seven, you didn't expect them to have any type of contracts. They're just at this point spitballing numbers and deciding what everybody wants, right? Like this early in the negotiation.
Not even that. Not even that. This is
Over the
and
close,
really,
bud.
I'll let Craig's got a lot more experience with this, so I'm going to let him expand on this in a moment. But a lot of this was just kind of like where they see the leagues at, some things that they think about where the things are going, the things that they like about where everything's at right now, just kind of setting the table, kind of pointing, showing a direction of kind of starting to let out some of the things that matter.
Would
There's a lot of
you
scotch
And the
cigars.
concerns that matter. Yeah.
Would you agree it's like taking orders, like everybody's sitting down at the table, we're getting orders, figure out what everybody wants. That's kind of where we're at right now.
They just presented the menu. That's all
Okay.
they've done is present the menu. It's not
Okay.
even we're not even taking orders at this point.
Okay.
And everybody's having
so-
scotch and cigars.
Okay.
Right.
Everybody's having scotch and
So-
cigars.
Craig, I want to get your input on this piece, but I want to start with this. There was something in the article with Jeff Passan that caught my eye, where he talked about how the WNBA operated, kind of agreed to operate under the old CBA rules while they were still going through the negotiation process. There wasn't ever really a lockout with the WNBA. They didn't miss any games. It was just, they just were like, okay, we're going to leave this in place while we figure everything out for how it's going to change. Because they were understanding with the way that the league is growing and TV deals changing and stuff like that. They needed some time to really hammer out details. So is it possible that the owners understanding the impact that losing games would have right now based on how the game is growing and getting viewers again, is it possible the owners go, if we don't reach an agreement, let's let things ride while we work this out because it's better for the game?
Yes and no. Yes, you make sense. Yes, that does make sense. No, because they are greedy. But also, here's the one thing that really jumped out at me in that Passan article. And what a great article that was. I mean, anybody gets a chance to read it off ESPN. Jeff Passan, great article. Job well done. The one thing that jumped out at me right away before I get to my main points was two words: political interference. That should scare the crap out of everybody that's a baseball fan. That scared the crap out of the players and scared the crap out of the ownership, because that asshole in the White House right now would love nothing more than to sick Mark Teixeira, who's going to be in politics and will be the 21st district in Texas and have the power to sway Trump and get Trump involved in this where his little ass does not belong. But mark my words, Teixeira gets in, he will bend the ear of Trump, and Trump loves nothing more than to be a shit disturber and would love to disturb baseball because it gets his name out there. So the owners don't want that, the players don't want that, the fans don't want that. So that's probably the biggest thing I think of that's going to prevent the lockout that I thought for sure would be happening on December 1st. I really thought there'd be a lockout. Now hear about Teixeira moving in to politics and he'll have the ear of Trump. That's a no bueno. So I think the owners are smart enough to figure that one out. So that's the first point that I took off of Passan's article. We don't want that. That would just be a freaking disaster. A couple of things on the players, the non-players, but the players that are behind the scenes. Dan Helen, deputy commissioner, he's right-hand man of Manfred. He's been at this for 10 years. I'm comfortable with him being part of the negotiations. He's got the experience. I think he'll move things along. I think a good sign that we're in trouble as far as baseball fans is anytime that Rob Manfred speaks in public, because he's going to take the sling. He's going to take the slings and arrows for baseball. The owners, that's what they pay him for. He's the slings and arrow guy. And so if we start seeing Manfred more and more, then we know we got a problem, because they're not going to tell us up front, and they're not going to tell the media up front what's going on behind the scenes. But a clear indicator, people, if Manfred's speaking, we're in trouble. A couple other things that it was a great article. The owners, They want cost certainty. They want a salary cap, and that's going to be one they're not going to bend on. The players, they want a lot of stuff. I mean, they want more money from the owners, obviously. They want to increase the minimum salary. They want less restraint on the luxury tax, and they want enhancement to the pre-arbitration bonus pool. That's going to be a non-starter with the owners. Get rid of the qualifying offer, another non-starter for the owners. And the other one that I found that I think the owners are going to say absolutely no to is reduce the amount of time teams can option players to the minors. Of course, the players want to see that. The owners, they're going to be a non-starter on that one too. So it's going to, what we saw was pretty much, nothing in the first one. And then, so those are things I took away from the article that we need to be looking out for. That anytime, but if Manfred's talking, baseball's in trouble. If he's not talking, then negotiations are going along pretty smoothly. But the owners, they've got so much money that the only thing that's going to keep them from having a lockout is Trump. Without Trump, I guarantee there'd be a lockout because the owners aren't going to bend on this. They're not going to bend. The players are going to have to do more bending than the owners will. So those are the points I came away with in the article.
I do think, as much as I know the players don't want a salary cap, I think it's coming. I think the other thing that's going to be that I know the players don't want, that I think is going to be, that honestly I think is extremely important to have, is an international draft.
Yeah, it
should not be a free for all. That's actually safer for everybody over there. Honestly, like it's that scares me. That it scares me that they might leave it that way, because I think that's more dangerous for those kids than it is helpful
100%
to leave it as a free for all.
Yep.
I do think the arbitration pool bonus money expanding. I think that some of those things the players can dangle as we'll give you the cap and the floor, which a floor, I think it has to happen. And the owners aren't going to give you a floor without a cap.
Nope.
So that's where I think they're going to come in. I think they're going to spend more time arguing about what the numbers are going to be to start with and the formula for how it expands than I think they'll actually spend arguing on the salary cap itself. Personally, I think that's going to be a bigger gap, because the players are going to want the number to start higher and the floor to be higher, and the owners are going to want those numbers lower because they get to pocket more profit that way.
Right.
So I honestly, I think that's where the separation happens more than anything else. Dan, what do you think, buddy?
I like all the players' sides, obviously. I think that there's a lot of very wealthy men that own the teams that could definitely probably just afford to give some leeway to the players. I understand that the players get paid a lot of money too, but they are playing the game. Wait, what? They actually play it? Oh, wait, what? No, yeah. The owner's not doing shit. Like, they probably got the team passed down to them.
For a lot of these guys, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't fucking give a shit what they want, to tell you the truth. Honestly, I don't. They have generational wealth that will last longer than people are probably alive on this planet. So, do you know what I'm saying? Not to be that guy, but yeah, they could probably just allow to give some in these particular negotiations where nobody's really getting the short side of the stick. Let's be honest. Nobody here is really getting the short end of the stick. I mean, so yeah, I think that they could definitely give some more, the international draft thing is obviously that's a thing that's is good too, because obviously you guys were talking about how they were preying on the players, like they had like the dudes coming in with the Like they had like in between guys, like they were literally like creating like an organized crime, like they were creating organized crime by having all this money on the table, and it can be filtered through all these different hands, right? Because you don't have adults handling the money. So like, yeah, no, I get that for sure. The international draft thing, that should be happening. I think that should be, yeah. But once again, that's not going to be on the owners. They already have all these mills set up and stuff. You know. So
there's going to be a lot of back and forth, and I would like to just like, for me, I think with the fact like viewership of the game is growing, and I think ESPN taking over MLB TV and adding a bunch of games to ESPN Unlimited, I do think that has actually helped baseball. And so I think that's where some of the new, because when they've seen an increase in ratings this year, I do think that that's helping baseball. But I also think that if you're going to continue this growth and keep these individuals interested, especially with the fact that Adam Silver's kind of lost his grip on the NBA a little bit, this is your time to really keep that product consistent and make sure that people want to see, people can see it and want to see it. And so even if you're negotiating into next year and you just say, okay, we're gonna punt this lockout to the end of after next season, and we're gonna spend this season negotiating in earnest, and maybe we set a goal of by the All-Star break we actually have something everybody can agree on enough that we can get it passed and we don't have any problems. To me, that seems more reasonable, because this isn't like, you know, a blue collar steelworking facility that's only getting $15 an hour. They don't have enough money to live on. So they have to, you know, they have to take action so that they can have that. It's not that serious. So, and yes, owners want to make more money. Any business owner wants to increase their profits. That's common sense. So, but you're still making money now. You are making money now. So do you want to make no money, or do you want to make some money while you work yourself into that position where you can make more money? Because I think the players listen more if you spread things out a little bit better. Like me personally, like if I'm the players union, I would have tried to start negotiations for this in the offseason. I wouldn't be 2 months into the season and just now saying, hey, let's sit down and do these formal presentations. No, winter meetings in December. That's when we're going to start. Like right. I get that there's still going to be separation. I'm not trying to take away from that, but I as an ADHD kid, I understand what it's like to get things done just before the deadline, like consistently. Like that's my MO. That's how I do things.
That's the motivation to get it done.
Right.
Is the deadline. Yeah.
We're talking about something else that has an economic impact around not just the country, but because of like guys like Shohei and even Aaron Judge, there's definitely more of a global impact that baseball has. We're seeing more and more every time the World Baseball Classic happens. We're seeing more and more MLB players playing for national teams. This year was the most we've ever seen. It was like 166 or something like that.
Yeah.
That it's only going to grow. So if the owners are smart, that's the catchphrase there. If the owners are smart, they're going to understand that you can have a goal to have this done before the beginning of next season. I get that. But if you put yourself in the position where you're missing games, when right after all these new TV deals have taken effect, when you sit down to negotiate the next one to get an increase, oh, you've got a CBA negotiation in 2 years. We're going to be a little bit more hesitant to expand what we're paying because we're worried we're going to lose money again.
That's what I was going to say. Is like they're negotiating over something that they're just assuming is going to keep making them money, when it's getting to the point where they are going to affect their product that makes them the money while negotiating the future profits of the product. You know what I'm saying? Like this is where we start. I almost had a stroke right there. But yeah, like that's that's like what it's getting to. Like you're affecting the actual product that you're talking about all this money coming from, right? Like you guys are up there talking about like, oh, we want $100 million. Like motherfucker, you need to get on the field so we can make that $100 million. That's the whole point. Like that's, it's like if you guys are off the field, we're not making that money in the first place that we're arguing about. So if we keep this up, then we're not going to make any of the money that we're talking about making. None of us are. You know what I'm saying? Like that's ultimately what could happen. Obviously not going to happen, but like you will make less money in the long run because you're arguing about all the money you're going to make. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's ludicrous to me. I don't know.
And they're not gonna, if they're not playing, they're not going to have the leverage with the upcoming contract renewals.
Right.
With television, they want that leverage. They want to have that carrot, that big carrot hanging over the networks. And with no games, there's no carrot. So that's another plus for baseball fans to think about is that there hopefully will not be a strike, but I wouldn't put anything past the owners. But I hit it before. Politics gets involved. Nobody wants that. Nobody.
And
there's already enough politics in the MLB owners' rooms.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, that's the ultimate incentive for saying, okay, we're gonna follow the WNBA's lead here, and we're gonna let this run for another year. We'll punt this We'll punt the stoppage to the end of next season. We're going to continue to see this growth. And so maybe we're all a little bit more amicable about some of these things, or we're going to punt the majority of it, but let's go ahead and hammer out the things we agree on. International draft. Let's take care of it. Let's just do that now.
Yeah.
There's no,
so we don't have as many issues.
Yeah,
exactly. Because like, I've never understood why there's so many times with these negotiations with sports and with, union organizations and stuff like that. Like there can't be more of, a thing where we're just going to pass these and we're going to work knowing that we have some growth, but we're going to set some regional benchmarks. And if we get to a point where it's been an extended amount of time and nothing's happening, I get it. But for a professional sports team, for a professional sports brand, league, franchise, you have a vested interest in that product continuing. Whether you are the league office, a team owner, coach, player, manager, whatever. Every single person has a vested interest in that product continuing. And especially when you look at how much baseball struggled after the lockout in 95. Do you want to take the chance of having to let that happen again? Do you want to have a second steroid era? Does anybody want to see Rafi Devers locking up with fucking tree trunk arms?
Yes.
500-foot piss missiles to save baseball?
Yes.
Is that what we want?
Yes. Yes. I want, yes.
Like,
I want Dante Bichette just out there in some pants that are just too small for him. And like, dude, I want McGuire one-handing 500-foot home runs into like off the McDonald's sign.
His son is coming up. So, I mean, he could just take after his dad and just do, you already know that it's going to work on him like it worked on his dad. So you've got the ability to kind of move forward there and take advantage. So, I mean, I might be down with a second steroid era, but I don't know that it's going to work a second time. You know what I mean? That's kind of
every time. It's like it would be like every time Tyler O'Neill comes to the plate. That would be like every player in my dream scenario. Like it's just jacked out of their gourds, dude. I want all-star numbers like 338, 25 homers, 91 RBIs. Just these games are in 9-6 every time. That's what I want. Because nobody can throw in on these guys because they can get around so fast on it. So yes, I do want a second steroid. I almost want them to go on strike now so that they'll have to save it again with Fernando Tatis at 250. 250-pound Fernando Tatis playing shortstop. That's what I'm talking about. Hey.
Oh God.
And I know there's people listening right now going, you know what? That doesn't sound that bad. I kind of feel like I could see Shohei. I could see Shohei looking like Jeff Bagwell, or Big Papa Pump. He looks like a fucking like an anime caricature, like he's in Dragon Ball Z. Just because he's ripped out of his squirt. So vascular. Shohei's so vascular.
Goku before going Super Saiyan and then after.
Yes,
Just kind of
yes.
happened.
Yeah, yes. He just grows his hair out and it's like all PC and like like 6 years. Yes. Yeah.
Oh God.
Sparks come off of the bat when he hits it. Like that's what kind of like.
And
I want
it's
this
not
to be
even
like
a metal bat;
explosion.
it's still a wooden
It's
bat.
not- no, it's a wooden bat. Yeah, it's got burn marks on it because he's hitting it so hard. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I just want him to roll into San Francisco and just hit like 4 into the water in the same game. Yeah.
Oh God, that's great. All right, so let's wrap up tonight. Before we do, I saw this story this weekend and I thought it was really interesting. The Chicago Cubs have filed a lawsuit against Wrigley View Rooftop because they're one of the buildings that has the rooftop where you can watch the Cubs game from the rooftop of the building. It's kind of across the street.
Left center field. It's in left center field. It's like on top of
right.
Yeah, it looks like an old hotel or something.
They're suing them because up until the end of 2024, they had a deal where the Cubs got a percentage of their profits, and that's kind of how they made money off of that, even though it's not in their property. Well, the deal ended. Wrigley View Rooftops didn't do anything and is still selling tickets and still letting people come up and watch the game. Their argument is it's their property. They can do whatever they want with it. They don't have the deal that they did with the Cubs. They didn't have to do. They don't have to do another one. And the Cubs are saying it's their product. They have a right to be paid for people that are consuming it.
That's
so it's and this lawsuit is getting ready to go to trial. Like this has been going on. This has been something that's been going on for a minute. So Dan, I'll ask you first. Are the Cubs right in this?
No. Like there's no way to like, you can't go, oh, well, we're going to build our stadium around all these, whether the buildings were there or not. You're going to have to understand that people in their apartment are going to be able to watch your game sometimes if you have your, you know what I'm saying? Like if your location is that around a bunch of tall buildings, like people's sight line is not like, I understand that those guys are making money off of, like the Wrigley place is making money off of like people going there to watch the game, obviously. Right. But like, yeah, they kind of got grandfathered into that thing. Like, I think that's kind of just like, you might just want to shut the fuck up and just, keep selling out stadiums and Wrigley, because like come on. Like, just like that's like really like saying I couldn't, like, what if I bought like a 6 by 6 foot parcel of land on Kauffman Stadium? Like they would sell that to me, but like theoretically, like if I were just to do that and then just build a tower in left center field and just go up there and watch the game every day, what's the difference, I guess? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting on my land. I'm just like hanging out. Like, you're in my sight line. I can just see what you're doing over there. Like, it's not, like that shouldn't be. So like so all of the air traffic outside of Wrigley Field now has to be anybody from anywhere. You have to pay Chicago Cubs. Sorry. You got to pay them. You got to pay them because you're watching from where they're at. You're watching them. Like that's the strangest thing to me. And I understand the one place is making money off it. That's what they're saying. Like, oh, you can watch the game, but you can't make money off watching the game. If I want to sell my seat in Kauffman Stadium, that's in like 6 foot plot of land. If I want to sell it so somebody else can watch the game, fuck you. I'll sell it so somebody else can watch the game. It's my land that I built my weird stand on, right? So yeah. I don't know. How much more money do you need, man?
Craig, what do you think, man?
How to pee on PR, how to pee on goodwill in one easy step. Sue fans who are not on your property, who happen to have line of sight of your stadium and happen to make low profit off it. Who cares? I think it's charming. I think it's nice. I think it's a nice little deal. There's been profiles on them on Baseball of the Week years ago and stuff. I think it's what makes the Cubs fans unique. And this should get thrown in a court right away. I mean, the Cubs going forward to this, whoever's doing this, they're idiots. Attention, Chicago Cubs management, ownership, you're idiots.
Yeah.
Because you just peed all over your fan base. You just peed all over baseball. And you peed over all that goodwill that you've had from all those World Series that you won that took forever to get to. You just peed all over it with a stupid lawsuit. Idiots.
And that building was purchased by whoever owns it too, for the fact that they knew that it had a rooftop view of Wrigley Field. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that was obviously part of their business plan. Like they know it wasn't like, oh, I just live here and we're just hanging out on the roof. Like, no, they knew it was like right there next to Wrigley Field. Like it would be like that's duh. Like, why don't you also piss on the American dream, Cubs? Why don't you just do that too? Because that's literally what that is. Like that's like, oh shit, cool location. Let's buy it and make money. Like what are we doing? Come on.
Idiots.
Like for me, and I get that this situation is going to be more unique to stadiums like Wrigley Field because of the fact that a lot of the more modern stadiums, like they have views, they have like everything's closed in, or none of the buildings around are as high versus what you have in Wrigley Field. So I kind of get that it's a unique situation, but at the same time, like the Wrigley Field is one of those things that's kind of a destination to go to.
Yeah.
So if you're not in Chicago, if you're not in the North Side, if you never, if you've been to Wrigley Field 100 times, you're not a season ticket holder. You just kind of want to be able to, watch the game, drink. You're not worried about being closer to the action. It's a perfect spot to go to. It's probably cheaper. You probably get beer for half the price that you would inside the stadium. And you're with a bunch of, you're much more likely that you're around Cubs fans. And you're not around a bunch of fucking tourists. Because I know that it's definitely, there's a lot of Cubs fans who go to Wrigley, but it's also very much a tourist, a baseball tourist destination, just like the old Yankee Stadium, Fenway, these older, there's some of these parks that just have that draw. You don't have to deal with the touristy stuff and the people that don't know what the hell they're doing. I know that for some reason people in Chicago get triggered by people putting the ketchup on a hot dog, and you don't have to watch it happen. You'll be okay. So like for me, I'm with you guys. I think that the Cubs are doing themselves a disservice by pressing this, because I mean, ultimately, here's the thing, Cubs. You really want to keep them from watching it? Build a fucking wall right there.
Yeah, that'll come out. Hey, that'll be even better than what you're doing right now. That'll make it look even better. Just build a wall up there. Yeah, just separate everything. You fucking morons. That's great. Spend all that money on that.
Yeah,
We're still putting ketchup on hot dogs, though, right?
Oh heck yeah!
Yeah. And that's the thing I don't understand about like Chicago people in Chicago with hot dogs. Like
those dogs suck.
I like the Chicago style stuff. I like it. I like
God, no.
they do like the weird. They do like the relish and the like. It's like.
But
weird stuff,
it's mustard, that different kind of relish that looks like a leprechaun shitted out.
It almost looks like
peppers, the pickles, the pickle spears, the bagel seasonings, whatever it is. Yeah. Like it's a novelty to have once.
Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
Because like if you go to the spring training games in Arizona, if you go to Sloan Park, Little Wrigley,
yep, love that park.
You can get, they have the same hot dogs that they sell.
Oh, look at you two. Been to Chicago, huh?
Nice.
Oh, sorry.
And so you can, and they have all this stuff there. You can have a real Chicago dog. And so that when the last time that I was there, I did it. Made sure I had everything put together.
When in Rome.
And you were sorry.
And then like it didn't bother me. Like I took a bite of it and I was like, okay, this isn't bad. And then I put some ketchup on it, and
it was way better.
A random building in Chicago just burst into flames as a result of me putting ketchup on my hot dog. But it tasted fucking better. Like, I'm sorry, people in Chicago, you can come at me all you want. Hot dogs taste better with ketchup. I'm not even a big ketchup fan. Like I have ketchup in my fridge for hot dogs.
Yeah.
Do they even know what tomatoes and sugar together taste like? Good God, it's delicious.
I don't know. You taste the pizza sauce at some of those deep dish places. I think they do know what tomatoes and sugar taste like, but it's not the good way to use it.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't like the sweet sauce on the thing either. They do deep dish sweet sauce, don't they? In Chicago too.
There's some that do. Like it's definitely like a a choice by restaurant. Like I'm more like I've got to have that hearty sauce. I love deep dish
I like
pizza.
the savory.
It's got to be a hearty sauce though. Like that's.
Yeah, I like the
sweet. Like
yeah.
If I go to an Italian restaurant and I end up getting spaghetti, like typically I don't have more broad taste than that. But like if I go to if I go to an Italian restaurant and I taste sugar in the spaghetti, I send it back. I say, nope, this tastes like shit. Something different. I can't. And they're like, oh, it helps with the acidity. The acidity. That's part of the flavor.
Yeah.
I've never understood. Like if you want to do like a little sprinkle where you're not going to taste the sweetness, that's one thing. Like I can entertain that. But if I can taste fucking sugar, that's disgusting. I can't.
At the end of Goodfellas, he says, I order spaghetti and marinara, and it comes out as egg noodles and ketchup. That's what he says. And it's like that's what you're talking about. Like egg noodles and ketchup is like, that's with hamburger meat in it. Is like what some of that stuff is. Yeah, egg noodles and ketchup. Yeah,
I don't get it. But all right. Unfortunately, Ando was having tech issues, wasn't able to finish the night with us. We thank him for coming.
Ando's got some tech issues.
We appreciate him coming in and helping out with Erica having the night off because she was doing some stuff. She will be back with us when we're back together. We will not be here next week. I'm going to be in Kansas City watching the Royals Red Sox game, and I'm very much looking forward to that. I will have video, I will have pictures that I will share on the PND Facebook page.
Despite our repeated request for Tony to do a live show from the game he has denied.
No, I'm going to be actually watching the fucking game. And I'm hoping
it's obviously more important than the show.
Yes, actually it is. That I don't even feel bad about that. My one thing is I want to get a picture with Jarren Duran and have him sign my jersey. If he signs this, I will retire it and buy another one.
How are you gonna pull that off? You can get there early.
I'll get there early, or I'll stay late too. My goal is to be there when the gates open. But if I have to stay for an hour after the game and just get home at like 2 a.m., then so fucking be it.
Jarren Duran's probably cool, but I heard his permed mullet is not the nicest of guys. So maybe stay away from his permed mullet.
I'm gonna beast. I'm gonna try and hang out with him after the game. So I'll be like, hey, let's go get a haircut after the game and then go to the bar. And then maybe that'll kind of help.
I'll be like, then people in Boston wouldn't send you death threats, dude. If you just change that hair, bro.
I want to talk to him about mental health stuff and just encourage him, because I know that some people are stupid, and I know that I haven't read up on all the stuff that he had a disagreement on Instagram with a reporter. I try to pay attention to news on JD's. Obviously, he's one of my favorite players, but I don't use Instagram because I can actually read. So I use things like Twitter and Facebook. I'm sorry. Instagram is Twitter for people who can't fucking read. I will die on that hill. They
just call it picture book. They're like, Instagram picture book. It's a picture book for your eyes. Hate reading those long words.
He is. Okay.
Can I just say, I thought Instagram was that place where I go to meet single and lonely women.
Instagram? It is.
Actually, yeah, that's yeah. And I'm sorry, but
one of its many purposes.
Yeah, no, because it seems
like.
Go ahead.
Right.
I was going to say Instagram should be the name of a weed delivery service, not a fucking.
Yeah.
No, that'd be hemagram.
Yeah.
But I was
more like Coke.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I can't go on Instagram anymore without like my algorithm being nothing but busty redheads. So maybe I'm using Instagram wrong.
Who created that algorithm, Ando?
Yeah, that was the choice.
Let's not blame AI for everything. It's just following you, sir. It's following your lead.
That is a choice I am very happy to make. Like, you want my attention? Busty redhead every time.
So my feed is all still full of gay stuff. I haven't been clicking on gay stuff at all.
Goth busty redhead, and Ando's going to have a wrist injury. He's going to be on the injury report.
That's why my shoulder. That's why I've been stretching out my shoulder today.
That right trap looks pretty big compared to that left one.
whole right arm is good, which
He's
is
like,
why my left
it's
one
just
looks weak.
ripped. We're just like,
Yep.
Jesus, Sam.
Like it's that episode of Family Guy where Quagmire
So
discovers
he comes out.
porn.
He's like, just
Yeah, the mailbox
some-
right over there. Jesus, Quagmire, what have you been doing? I've been nothing. I gotta go back inside.
He's like all disheveled. He's got like a beard and shit.
Yeah.
He's like-
Hey, yo, has anybody seen Quagmire? Quagmire's been missing for like a week.
yeah.
Oh
Somebody
god!
introduced him to
One of
internet
my
porn.
favorite moments in Family Guy was that scene.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And then any episode
right.
where Peter blasts Cleveland's house and then Cleveland gets slipped out of the bathtub.
No. Yeah.
That really got to stop taking bath time during Peter's shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
How he says it like every freaking time.
Oh god!
Okay.
All right, so go ahead, Greg.
No, I'm ready to wrap it up.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, so thank you everybody for coming in. Final thoughts, Dan? Anything on your mind?
No, I'm good. Bring back the steroids. I want middle linebacker. I want middle linebacker Fernando Tatis playing shortstop again.
Ando, anything on your mind tonight as we close out?
Well, we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't say the United Anthem for podcast name Deferred. Fuck Rob Manfred.
Yes.
I will proudly lead that off with Fuck Rob Manfred. And
Greg,
also,
what about you?
rest in peace, Bobby Cox.
Yes, yes.
We all needed Cox,
Yes, we did.
and we got a lot of Cox.
We got
I'm
20
glad
years
that
of
we got
Cox.
I'm glad that we got Cox.
Me too.
Over 20 years, just Cox everywhere.
Cox just spreading dirt all over the place, just coxing everything, man.
Oh god, Craig. Anything else?
Yeah, on a personal note, guys, and on to our podcast family, my wife's having heart surgery on Monday. So anybody that is a praying person, could use some prayers. So,
Absolutely.
so
Much love to you and your family, Craig.
thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you joining us tonight. We'll be back not next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. You can catch.
What's going on next
Ando.
Wednesday?
I will be in Kansas City.
You can podcast from Kauffman Stadium.
We just said that.
God
We just
damn
said
it.
that. He's
No,
like, no.
like for real, dude. Come on, think about the publicity. We
No,
Nope.
no,
Nope.
nope. I want to
From
be
the
in the
park-
moment for change.
from the parking lot
The
after the
Nope.
Red Sox lose 7-1.
Go fuck yourself, Ando. Thank you for joining us,
Bro,
everybody. We
look,
appreciate
the Mariners got swept by the Royals earlier in Seattle, so I'm just hoping that the Royals fuck everybody else's season up. So, look, my mom, who does not watch baseball, texted me after every single game and asked me what the hell was wrong with my Mariners. When my mom, who doesn't watch baseball, asked me what's wrong with my baseball team,
She's
we got
going to
problems.
score up every time they lose. She's just like, oh, I got to text Ando.
Yeah.
No,
What-
the
what
the
happened-
Royals
no,
didn't
it's
screw with
only
us.
it's only when the Royals play the Mariners does she bust my
Oh, okay.
balls on anything like
Yeah.
it. So
It's
I
and,
thought
and
the
just as a
Mariners were
reminder, the Royals did not screw up the Mariners season. The Mariners did.
yeah,
The Mariners did that.
Well,
I mean,
it's
that-
the steroids thing because Cal Raleigh needs the steroids back.
hey,
Oh my
yo,
God.
look, Cal Raleigh hit 2 for 4 yesterday after Logan Gilbert told him to go take a shower with his uniform
Yeah, yeah.
on.
He ain't going to hit 61 home runs. I'll tell you that much.
No, that's fine. We still got, dude. We're only a month into the season, man. Give it some time. If he can hit
Month and a half.
5,
He needs that juice back.
he ain't been juicing, bro.
Last year,
Ah.
he was.
Don't be putting words in my
All right.
catcher's mouth.
I
He's catching balls,
for the-
okay?
Still couldn't beat
I
Aaron Judge.
appreciate everybody watching tonight. We thank you for checking out Podcast Name Deferred. We appreciate you. We appreciate Wire to Wire Sports for having us on, and we will see you guys next week. Or I'm sorry, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Have a great night, everybody.